Alright, today we're going to be jumping back into the Bitcoin price action as well as talking about Nvidia because they do have that earnings report that is ongoing at the moment. But starting off with Bitcoin here, you can see we just had a wick down to sweep these lows. This is something I was going to talk about on the video, and we actually did go ahead and have it play out right before starting the recording here. And you can see here, I mean, even on the 5-minute time frame, that is a violent wick through, closing back above sweep level, taking out all your top longers that had used this low down here as their invalidation. So yeah, this might actually be your local low on Bitcoin. Another level I was going to talk about is potentially doing a full rotation back to these highs, flipping that resistance back into support, somewhere from the top of this high to these highs back here. So yeah, this is your big level for support if we are to get down here. But currently I do think that keeping structure of just, grabbing liquidity is actually the most bullish thing we can have. And this way we are maintaining actually a hidden bullish divergence on candle closes, which is what really matters for the RSI, since, if you go into the settings for your relative strength index, default, the source is set to the close of the candles. So yeah, you always want to make sure that you have this set properly, right? So if it's set to close, then you draw your trends from, the closes of the candle like such. Whereas if you had it set to a high or a low, I guess then you could take it from the actual wick low, just like that. But I don't recommend doing that. I think the close is better when it comes to the RSI, because wicking through levels could just be grabbing liquidity like we're seeing here. Not that there was actually sellers in that area. And to just make sure of that, you would want to, check closes on multiple time frames, right? You never want to be just checking one time frame because, candles close on a set time frame. So sometimes that can be misleading. For example, if we were to shoot down here, let's say 159, and then at 2 o'clock we close our hourly candle down here, but then it wicks back up by 201. Well, clearly price did not want to stay down here, but you would get an hourly close at that level. So that's why you want to be checking multiple time frames, especially when it does come to, drawing divergences and that sort of thing. But yeah, essentially Bitcoin came down here, took out all the leverage positions from each of these lows. And if we do jump over here to trading light, I mean, this is going to be my first time looking at it since we got this sweep. Let's see if we do have anything on an order flow basis that tells us that that would have been our low. And oh my goodness, look at all of these sell imbalances. This is a fantastic failed auction within here. Yeah, that should be your low on Bitcoin. That was perfect. I think this Nvidia earnings report is going to come out, and we are going to be set up to go parabolic, because every time Nvidia has an earnings report, it is somehow able to beat expectations. So I don't doubt that this time won't be any different. This is the kind of footprint candle I would be just market entering longs on when I saw this imbalance. Now, will I be doing that here? Absolutely not, because, Bitcoin's not at really a good level to take a long. I'm already max long spot, and the time to long Bitcoin was at the lows. Not really right now, but this is great to see on the order flow here. That is a proper swing fail, getting us back above liquidity levels. So yeah, that should be your low there on Bitcoin. But let's go ahead, let's jump outside of Bitcoin now, jumping over here to Nvidia. If this doesn't tell you we're in the .com bubble all over again, I don't know what will. We have a mega cap doing crypto gains. Nvidia is almost up 10x from the bear market lows, and it doesn't look like it's over yet. You could say this is like a double top formation sort of deal, but I beg to differ. The fact that price was able to swing this far down and there was enough buyers to swing that entire move back to the upside, going to break all-time highs once again, shows me that a double top is not likely in the very near-term future. If we had just pulled back through this range and then had been coming up here for a secondary high, that would actually structurally look better for a double top. Seeing this big red panic sell candle, liquidity grab, and for it to instantly get bought back up to the upside shows true momentum, and I do expect it to carry on up for some time. And what's interesting is this actually does look very similar to last cycle on a fractal basis for Nvidia here. If we do look at all the way back in 2021, you can see we had a consolidation range in the middle of the bull market. We then had a steep line of attack up to a sharp pullback just like we're seeing now, and that was bought up instantly, going for all-time highs, and it does look very similar to right now on the price chart. And I would not be surprised if this is what we have in store for Nvidia next, to essentially go on and pull off a full blow-off top. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit different. Fractals don't repeat, they rhyme. But, for Nvidia here, I definitely could see a little maybe pullback in here on earnings report just to squeeze longs and that sort of thing. And then pulling back here maybe to kind of backtest the highs and then go on and really finish off the parabola before Great Depression 2.0, because when you have parabolas like this type of euphoria in the markets, along with a lot of recessionary indicators, I can almost guarantee you what comes next is not going to be good. And I do think Nvidia is nearing those highs, so I certainly would not be buying right now. Even though I do think Nvidia will go higher, I certainly would not be buying right now, because the gains left on this, I mean, you're talking really max 50%, to be honest, whereas the risk is the same as many altcoins right now. I could see Nvidia easily going down 90% plus when we do enter this next recession, depression type event that will happen, in my opinion, starting 2025. But if we do have one more move up for Nvidia, I do think you will see bears absolutely start capitulating. You will see retail euphoria go to new heights that you thought were not possible. And it will be a catalyst to signal a massive crypto run, because at the top of when mega caps run is when you have the most speculation in the market. Crypto is a speculative asset. So yeah, the higher Nvidia goes here, the better for us, especially if you are holding a lot of AI gems, which I do believe are going to be the best performers of this cycle, besides maybe some memes. Now, to correlate with my case for Nvidia, we can see S&P has continued to just trade sideways, building more liquidity above these highs right here, and I would expect a squeeze up in the near-term future. Without a doubt, I do think S&P is going to go for new highs convincingly. Not only that, but I saw gammas were at like 5,400 for this month, so there's a lot more short options being traded right now, and the dealers will make the most money higher. So yeah, everything does point towards S&P all-time highs and the continuation of this parabola into a big blow off top before you do have that Great Depression. Now, I will caution you, we have a monthly bearish divergence, 3 drives in fact of a monthly bearish divergence throughout this entire move here. The highs are not clean with that trend, but certainly these last 2 highs is a very clean bearish divergence on the monthly time frame. So I would caution you, like, hey, we are at resistance on that RSI div, but I would not be surprised if we do go ahead, break out of this, to then go and make some sort of exaggerated bearish divergence, which would get the bears to capitulate, because I think a lot of bears are betting on this monthly bearish divergence to play out, and if it does not play out, they're going to liquidate those shorts, and that could cause price to skyrocket to the upside. But if you are in these large cap traditional finance assets, definitely be cautious. Like, this is the time to be taking profit on those, in my opinion. And if you are feeling the FOMO and you don't want to miss out on any gains, take a percentage of that capital and throw it into riskier assets such as altcoins and that sort of thing that will have a much higher ROI while actually lowering your risk level, because you're putting less amount of money into them. And then I did want to look at the DXY real quick, because this is one of the more bearish things I have been seeing on the chart, was that the DXY was bullish, and we did get a pop off of this level, but we are at big resistance right now, and markets haven't really respected this rally all too much, right? Markets have just traded sideways through this pump on the DXY, so dollar milkshake theory is still in play, as well as the dollar is just at big resistance right now. So I would also not be surprised if the dollar were to just roll over, get back under, and then finally hunt down to our 100 level. Lastly, in here, I did pull fibs on the total 3 chart, and you can see we are, kind of rejecting that golden pocket right now. So this is something to take note of. I'm not really too worried about it whatsoever. We still have these highs to back test. So either we just flip it as support right now, or we could, pull back there before flipping it as support. Either way, it really doesn't bother me at all. Structurally here locally, it looks ready to send, as well as on the macro here, it still looks brilliant. So I wouldn't be too worried about what happens day to day when we know the back test of value area of low from the last bull market sets our target up here at value area high, which should in theory give us an entire wave 2 replicating the gains from wave 1 of the altcoin market. And that really is just bare minimum. We have talked about the case where this actually gets flipped into support and we go into price discovery, which is certainly not out of the question. If we are going to have this blow off top going into a Great Depression, we would see a lot of speculation on the altcoin market, sending the market cap of crypto to heights never seen before. And that is where I'm going to end the video off. Make sure to join my Discord. Link is in the description down below. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.